Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Hope that you are having a wonderful Wednesday. I know I'm having one. I'm trying to share the blessing, share the love of Wednesday Hump Day. So today I thought, you know what? I know we normally have brothers and sisters, we have Friday funnies. Well, something tickled me today, and I figured I couldn't wait till Friday. I talked to myself, let's look at the world and the issues that it's going through, and let's have a an amended version or an adapted version of Friday Funnies, where I kind of pick out a problem in the world and I just kind of talk about it. This problem affects so many aspects of human life, human development, aspirations, inspirations. I said I'm gonna put it on here and in a nice, loving, Islamic, halal way. Beat the snot out of it, brothers and sisters. Because I felt like we would do. Because I think we are dancing around some of the issues. So I thought today we would take a hilarious take on this thing that's called white supremacy. I know a lot of people can go, Preacher Moss, white supremacy is very severe, it's very serious, and da da da. I didn't say it was serious. All I'm going to do is, as the Brits say, take the piss out of it, and I'm going to dissect it a little bit, turn it a little bit, and we're going to look at some of the things that it really represents and some of the people that try to capitalize off of it. You see, I'm a comedian that's talked about race relations in the United States since I was a little kid, 14, 15 years old. My first monologue on stage as a comedian was talking about police brutality. I was 17 and three quarters, brothers and sisters. So I feel like somehow, some way, I have the authority to speak on this topic. And by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will be here to listen to it. So anybody has a problem, you can jump into the comment section because I'm going to roll for a little bit. And you know the situation, I'm going to roll for a little bit. I'm going to make sure we give a shout out before I get started. We're going to give a shout out to our sick and shut in folks. I want to give a shout out to Miss Eleanor. I want to give a shout out to Miss Lorraine Kitchen. I want to give a shout out to Nancy Mustafa. I want to give a shout out to Kendrick Samuels and anyone else that you feel you want to give a shout out to. Put it in the comment section because we got to make sure that these people know we are thinking about them. But today, brothers and sisters, I'm going to look at this thing called white supremacy. First of all, you got to break down the whole word of white. Well, years ago, when I was on stage on lectures, I said I do not respect, believe in, or hold in any kind of esteem white people. And I said I don't like white people. I said because everyone else is hyphen American. If you black, you African American. If you're Latino, you Mexican American. If you're Italian, you're Italian American, and so on and so on and so on. They see American, all this, Arab American, Arab. I mean, you have all these things where you have to be American, except when you're white. So I said today I'm going to break that down, and I'm going to say the reason why people don't want to say they're white outside of this country because the connotation of white is not the greatest thing in the world. Historically, the whole idea of the European experience is not a good experience, brothers and sisters. You can say a whole lot of things about black people. You say a whole lot of things about Latinos. But when you finish, please let us say some things about you. That's right, brothers and sisters. There's nothing worse than having somebody tell you about yourself, knowing that they're from can I say inferior or confused or dysfunctional background? Can I say that? Inferior, confused, dysfunctional. I can say all of that. You know why? Because I'm right. I'm right, and I'm gonna be right the rest of this show. Now, this is not some racist thing, brothers and sisters. If this is racist, I'd have given you a whole different show. I'd have given you a different title. We're talking about white supremacy. White supremacy. Break the word down. White, that doesn't really, it doesn't not even a true word. And then supremacy. Let me tell you about supremacy, brothers. And supremacy means that there are a set of rules, edicts, actionables, and evidence that say that this is supreme over the other. I'm not saying that supremacy does not exist. I'm saying true supremacy means that you have to look at the facts. You literally have to look at the facts over a period of time. You have to look at the facts. That's no problem. That's no problem. There's some things that are supreme over others. That's all. At one point in time, this medicine was the medicine for whooping cough. They came with another medicine. It was supreme over that. I don't have a problem like that. This was a computer program from back in 1970. This computer program is much better. Thus, it is supreme over this other computer program. Well, brothers and sisters, All I'm going to do is let's take that algorithm, let's take that balance, that litmus test, the eye test, if you will, and apply it to white supremacy. Let's start the show. I'm Preacher Moss. I ain't messing with you. Shout out show. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. Do you know who I am? I'm Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire. However, this Labor Day, I won't be that guy. You know who I'll be? Mr. Isna. That's right. We're celebrating the 2021 Isna Virtual Conference going down on Labor Day, brothers and sisters. We got speakers, we got entertainment. All we need is you. It's going to be like a big old pot of gumbo. We just need to put you in there. So listen. Don't wait. Don't even worry about registration because it's free. Make sure that you're going to be there on the 4th and the 5th. I'll be looking for you virtually. And believe me, I understand what you're thinking of. You're looking at the screen going, this is going to be an incredible conference. But my goodness, Preacher Moss, that's one good-looking Muslim. See you there. And we're back, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Sister Donna, for running the back for I got to give a shout out real quick before we even get into our space. I'm going to give a shout out to my main man, Farouk Hunter, formerly of Atlanta. Now I think he's in Uzbekistan, Turkestan. I don't know where the brothers. The brothers all over. He was always one of them people you look up. You'd be surprised he wasn't in jail, but I am happy he is in Turkmenistan or Uzbekistan. Farouk, I see you. I'm gonna give you a shout out formally once we get a little bit into the show. So listen, brothers and sisters, let's talk about this subject real quick. The book Kazakhstan is where Farouk is located. Kazakhstan. All right, Farouk. I went to all the stands. I almost went to Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. That's how close I went. All right, so love you too, Wak. I don't know how we say that in Kazakhstan, but I think it's like a Kazakhstan. Okay, there we go. We got it. It seemed like everybody knows except for me. So let me get into this thing. Farouk, you hang on there if you can, because I'm going to give you a proper shout out. This whole thing of white supremacy, the whole hilarious thing of white supremacy is just based on the fact that we have to believe it. This is the killer part. We have to believe it. Meaning, brothers and sisters, if you don't have a full belief in it, then the system in and of itself falls apart. It's the essential of the emperor with no clothes on. Now, brothers and sisters, if somebody holds a gun to your head and you see a butt naked white man walking down the street, you say, does that white man, is he butt naked? You go, no. And then he gives you the gun and says, I'll shoot you. Think about it. You go, well, that is a nice tweed suit he has on. For a lot of years, we had the gun to our head. We don't have the gun to our head now, brothers and sisters. When we see a butt naked white man walking down the street, we need to say, that's a butt naked white man walking down the street, and he should be arrested because he's hurting my eyes. Not anything else. He's hurting my eyes too often, brothers and sisters. People of color, we have to tie into a system where we make people more than what they actually are. They make people more than what they actually are. I'm going to say this, and it might be offensive. My friend, his name is Mexican Mark. Mexican Mark, he's black, he looked Mexican. He wrote a book called Going to Prison Saved My Life. I was like, hey, I ain't gonna read that book. But he wrote a book called Going to Prison Saved My Life. And he talked about the white supremacists in jail who felt like somehow they were over everybody in jail because they were white. Not looking at the fact that they were in jail too. meaning that they had to go through the same scenarios that everybody else in jail, but they created these pecking orders, I would say, these facades, if you will, that somehow, someplace at the end of the day, I'm better than you. Well, here's the situation, brothers. It never works out that way. It never works out that way. Have you ever had this situation? I'm gonna say, have you ever had this situation when somebody says something about you and they're in a lesser position than you? And the only reason you didn't say anything because you're trying to be a good Muslim or a good Christian or a good Jew or a good citizen. Like I had a guy say to me one time, dude, your car is raggedy. What I wanted to say is, dude, you walking to a bus stop. See what I'm saying? Dude, you don't know how to handle your money. Dude, you've been living in your mama's house since you was 4. You're 50 now. That's all I'm saying, brothers and sisters. And we don't say these things enough. You ever watch the old the old movies where they put the KKK in and scare all the black people in the town? You ever notice? All the black people, number one, they're in one part of town. And then number two, when they went to terrorize all the black people, they just happened to be home. In real life, do you know black people that all get off from work at the same time? Of course not. But in white supremacy lifestyle and beliefs, we all are in one space because we need to be there conveniently for them to exercise their terror. All right. Let me even throw this out here, brothers and sisters. There's a great book called White Trash. It's called White Trash, 400. And what it tells you, brothers and sisters, that everybody had a history. Everybody has a history. See, they come here to the United States to be white, but you come from other places that are raggedy. England is raggedy. France was raggedy. Germany was raggedy. It was a bunch of raggedy people got on the boat, came here, and act like they didn't come from raggedy places. Now, all I'm saying is, brothers, sisters, we just need to acknowledge this. Take the air out of this whole thing of white supremacy. And a shout out to my brother, Mexican Mark, because he had the greatest quote about black people and Latinos that give weight and credibility to white supremacy. He said, we are culture, brothers and sisters. Essentially, metaphorically, we are sitting at the TV, looking at the sofa. Sitting on the TV, looking at the sofa, thinking that we actually, brothers and sisters, are seeing reality. I'm going to tell y'all something. While it was a tragedy, while I didn't want it to happen, I'm going to be truly honest with you. When they had the insurrection, if you take away the injured police, which is no excuse, and the people that were injured, and the people that lost their lives, that was the white version of Planet of the Apes. That was the white version of Planet of the Apes. Satan is going, we ain't going to stay on much longer after this. We ain't going to make it a show 500. But if you watch, brothers and sisters, if you watch it and you reverse it, that was the first episode of Planet of the Apes. People who are thinking other people are uncivilized. And all these white people were climbing up the steps over the fence. They were shaved apes. They just didn't have the hair. They were just trimmed down and they walked a little bit upright and they spoke English. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but who cares, brothers and sisters? Who cares? How long can you be around people who want to tell you that you're something and not look at themselves? Everybody knows. Nobody wants to sit around folks like that. It's annoying. And you know how I know it's annoying? Because those people who are white here were something else someplace else. And the people where they came from said, get them out of here. Send them to the United States. We don't want them here. You know what we got in the United States? You know what we got in Australia and New Zealand? We got the rejects, brothers and sisters, the bottom of the barrel, the people who couldn't make it in society in England and France and Germany, they all came here. And they came with this space whereby somehow they had moral position, they had intellectual prowess to deal with other folks. Let me tell y'all something about white supremacy. Everywhere white supremacy goes, it leaves nothing but death and destruction. nothing but death and destruction. And if we were to get out of the way more often, brothers and sisters, I'm talking to my black folks, Muslims, Latinos, and Native Americans that are left, and Arabs, and if you were to get out of the way and watch white supremacists get around one another, they would kill each other. They would kill each other. If the insurrection was a pay-per-view and the money went towards building, rebuilding schools in America, we have harvests all over the place because we all would have tuned in. And if you really want to start thinking about it, but how long? Who told these people they were supreme? Who told them they were supreme? Let me tell you something. I look at supremacy in different ways. If you want my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. When it comes to peanut butter, Peter Pan Creamy is supreme over Jif. That might be an argument, but Peter Pan Creamy is supreme over Jif. Coca-Cola is supreme over Pepsi. All right? Pure Leaf is supreme over Snapple. I'm giving you all the supremes. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Hey, listen. Boys II Men is supreme over NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and 98 Degrees. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Satana, am I wrong? Huh? That's all I'm saying. You can I can give you all the supreme. So you're going to tell me. Farouk said, white monkeys. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I ain't gonna lie. Every time I watch Planet of the Apes, I ain't gonna lie to you. Damn it, I root for the monkeys. Get them! As soon as that monkey stop talking, that's all we gonna get something now. All right, so listen. My point is, seriously though, I never really seen a good, smart redneck in my life. You know, I've been to places where white people aren't doing so good. I've been to Kentucky. I've been to backwoods, West Virginia. I've been to Alabama. Those are like your relatives that you hide in the basement. Like white supremacy hides them in the basement. Like if they were like, no, we're supreme. They'd be like, but you got to put Alabama, Mississippi, and parts of Georgia in the back. You can't let them see it. Listen, when you raggedy, you raggedy. White supremacy has been raggedy for men. Like I tell folks, you know, the thing with white supremacy is they do lean on our emotions. Now, black folk, we get emotional. Not for any other reason. Then guess what? We just fed up. It's okay to be emotional and fed up, brothers and sisters. There's nothing wrong with that. But here's my other thing, though. We need to start calling these folks out. White supremacy ain't working. Look at Afghanistan. Look at Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a mess because of white supremacy. You know why? Because they thought we're going to go over here. We're going to give the Afghanistan people some rifles. They're going to do what they want to. And they're going to love us. They're not going to love you. I'm going to tell you something. This might be hurtful. But when you give black people money for work, we're only taking the money from you because it's money. Not because we like you. Not because we feel like we have a relationship. In Afghanistan, they took the money. I'm going to tell you, here's the deal. In Afghanistan, you're going to be a cop if somebody pays you to be a cop. If you're in Afghanistan, you're going to be a rebel if somebody pays you to be a rebel. Guess what they can't pay you to do? Be white and be supreme at the same time. I'm going to say something, folks. This might be out of character. But I understand why you have to make up white supremacy. I understand the merits of it. Because you ain't winning. You're not winning. In a fair game, you're not going to win. In a fair game. See, I remember the Negro Baseball League. I did my homework. Why were black folks kept out of the National Baseball, the Major League Baseball? Why were they kept out of Major League Baseball? Because in a fair competition, you ain't going to win. You're not going to win it. Hey, I watched the Olympics. There was one Swedish white boy. He was Swedish. He wasn't white. He was Swedish. And he beat the people in the 400 meter. He beat a bunch of black people. Had an Italian guy. He won the 100. but he was black and Italian. But let me tell y'all this, brothers and sisters. Around the world, don't nobody want to be white. Nobody wants that tattoo or that moniker. It only works here. And have you seen the quality of white supremacists, brothers and sisters? Have you seen the quality of them? I believe it's easier to get a job at Waffle House. It's harder to get a job at Waffle House than it is to be a white supremacist. Have you ever seen the application, the old application for Waffle House? Let me tell you why they don't put it out anymore. This is the deal. Because you fill out your name, your address, your phone number. They have levels of education. It stopped at 6th grade. It stopped at not high school, college, 6th grade. And I believe if you're a good white supremacist, it stops at white. You pretty much stop learning at 6th grade. And if you're lucky, you ran for political office and you got lucky. But have you seen some of the white supremacists who are politicians? Now that's sad. That's sad. Lindsey Graham, I'm talking about you, talking about Joe Biden should be impeached for withdrawing his student. I'm like, but your boy, your other white supremacist dodo bird, your other white monkey, he's the one that said we're getting out of Afghanistan, but he should be impeached. You didn't even talk about him being impeached. You didn't say anything about the folks who got lost their lives. This is what I'm talking about, brothers and sisters. The logic doesn't match. The logic has never matched, and we were far too patient. This is what I'm saying. You need to go back and look at old videotape of your grandma and grandpa from the 50s who said whatever the hell was on their mind because they knew they were close to God and they ain't matter no way. Say what you gotta say. You know what a guy said to me one time? He said, man, a white guy came in and he said, hey, I don't have any food. He didn't say, could you help me? I'm hungry. He said, I don't have any food. You know what I said? Sucks to be you. That's what I said. Sucks to be you. Every once in a while, you just got to get out of your system. You know why? Because we're too nice, brothers and sisters. Because you're worried about the law. You're worried about what these people think. They don't think about you. So why should you worry about thinking about them? I'm going to take a break and I'm going to acknowledge my people. Who we got in the chat today? I know we got my man Farouk, but we got our regulars. Farouk, you got to come back so you be an official member of the ShOUT Show family, all the way from Kazakhstan. I think I said it right. What's going on, Sister Ree? Sister Ree is cooking up all those vittles. I can smell it through the screen. She's going to be at the International Market on 239 Greens Road, Houston, Texas, 11 to 7. Make sure you get there. Get yourself a plate. Next up, we got my little brother. My little brother has heard me have this rant, but it's a halal rant because I've left all the profane thoughts and words out of this broadcast so we don't get kicked off. JT, what's going on, little brother? My main man, my ace, my little brother. Thank you so much again for hosting me in Milwaukee, man. I appreciate you. Next up, Sister Ika, all the way from Indonesia. Well, good news with Sister Ika's family. They are home from the hospital. Her sister's doing better. Brother-in-law is doing better. Sister Ika, make sure you take care of yourself. I don't think they're having vaccines going on like they should out in Indonesia, in Depok, if you will. But take care of yourself. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Next up, my main man, Mr. 6 o'clock, Altaf Rashid, my brother from another mother. He is the Toronto Indian version of the NOI. My brother's always on time. And he is the official Canadian ambassador to the ShOUT Show. Make sure the quality of the show is good on this side of the border and the other side of the border. Altaf, as always, appreciate your presence. Next up, all right, Lynn Dream Clyde Mosley. Okay, man, that dude, Lindsey Graham, cracker, shaking my head. Well, you know how this goes, brother. That's the way most black people used to do, before they could vote. This is all they did. Well, you can shake your head now, brother. I appreciate you, brother. And we got to make that happen. All right. Next up, good afternoon, family. Where you from, brother Mosley? Let us know where you're from. And we got my main man right here, Farouk Hunter. Hey, what's going on, Farouk, man? Much love to you, man. I follow you on Facebook and just check your stuff. I mean, all the joke. I'm joking about him being in Kazakhstan in jail. He's never been in jail. This brother sees things, and I say I love this quote right here from Arnold Schopenhauer. He says the quote is: "Talent is the ability to hit the target no one else could hit. Genius is the ability to hit the target no one else could see." Farouk Hunter hits that target nobody else could see, because I know everybody in W Muhammad community for a bunch of years that out of our mouths had never come to work. You know what? We should go to Kazakhstan. All right, brother. We appreciate you. Keep inspiring us. Oh, there you go. Slam Fruit. What's good, bruh? Okay, thank you. You know you're supposed to spell that right, Satana. You getting all the Ebonics on the show. I want to give a shout out to Sister Satana Whitfield, making sure the back of this program rolls correctly. And again, brother, make sure you check out the 2021 ISNA virtual convention. The 2021 ISNA virtual convention is free. All you got to do is register. Oh, okay. Lynn is a freedom citizen too. Okay. All right. Lynn said he's from Colorado. All right, man. Thank y'all so much for coming on this show. I am here in the U.S. now. Happy to come to Texas or D.C. and sit with you, man. Well, you know what? Let's get a call together. Do you still have the same number? Because it'd just be good to chat with you and catch up, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna put you on the line with my brother too, JT. Farouk is one of the visionary guys, so he's a concept guy, so I always enjoy talking to him. All right. So let me do this, brothers and sisters. Before we get wrapped up too much, I gotta give a shout out. I'm gonna do it early. Give a shout out to our sponsors. Okay, I got it. Satana, can you write that number down? Thank you. I'm gonna give a shout out to the sponsors, because sometimes at the end of the show I'm rushing, but I want to make sure I do it correctly. So today I want to give a shout out to BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. The owner of that company is a minority businesswoman. That would be Maxine B. Cade. You can check her out. If you don't want to go to BeFinanciallyIndependent.com for some reason, you don't have a computer or a phone, and you're living in 1960s, you can call on your Rotary 1-888-496-6845. Again, that's 1-888-496-6845. As well, if you're thinking about getting a quality Islamic graduate education, brothers and sisters, they did it for me. I'm sure they could do it for you. Check out Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Again, that's Bayan Islamic Graduate School. You can go to banonline.org. Again, that's banonline.org. They have graduate programs and doctoral programs, graduate programs in Islamic studies, Islamic leadership, Islamic education, and they have one of the leading programs, Master's Divinity for Muslim chaplains. So you want to check that out as well. I am a recipient of the Muhammad Ali Scholarship. I know a bunch of people from my community, the WD Muhammad community, who are in that program. I'm just saying, everybody, if you're interested, go check it out. So let me finish by saying this. This whole idea of white supremacy, if you want to know why the adjustments is coming so hard to rig the vote, because this is the big lie, brothers and sisters. The big lie is people are going to tell you after they rig something that is fair. And if they try to rig something that didn't work, they're going to tell you something fair. The scope is the only way white supremacy works these days, brothers and sisters, is that you have to give leeway for people to have, I want to say, a very, very perverted engagement with U.S. law and constitutional law. So people are trying to rewrite history. And that's the other thing about white supremacy. They lose all the damn time. They lose all the time. But here's the problem. They never want people to know they lost. That's why in the state of Texas, they're taking heroes, people who face white supremacy, and won on large platforms. In big spaces, they're trying to get them out of our history books. So no Martin Luther King, no Susan B. Anthony, no Rosa Parks, no Malcolm X, no Elijah Muhammad, no Minister Farrakhan, no Medgar Evers, none of that. No Susan. I mean, you're not going to hear anything about them in the next 20 years, because they sore losers. Did I say sore losers? Look at my hand. Sore losers. That's the way you should do it. Look at my hand. Sore losers. So we have a lot of sore losers, brothers and sisters. And the only way they can inspire other sore losers that come up in white supremacy is to let them think that they won. Well, here's my prescription, brothers and sisters. When we win big. When we're successful, go big. And this is not an Islamic principle, but when you win, act like you're supposed to win. When you win, I don't give a damn. Gloat, dance, do the death dance, whatever you point to the loser. You lost. Because, brothers and sisters, if you don't, they're gonna sit there and tell you that you lost. So that's my show, brothers and sisters. This is the Shout Out Show with Preacher Moss. Shout out to everybody who's in the box today. My man, Big Farouk, welcome back to the United States. Brother Mosley, thank you for coming. JT, that would be my main man, Altaf. Sister Ree, my main man, JT, little brother. And I got to throw in Sister Ika all the way from Indonesia. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Big ups to everybody. Thank you for holding it down, Satana. This is Preacher Moss. And I'm telling y'all, these are the hilarious problems of white supremacy. Hope you had a laugh and enjoyed yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yo, assalamu alaikum. I'm Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire, but I like to add a new title to my name. I'm Professor Preacher Moss. You know why? Because I just graduated. Wait a minute, let me get this out of here. This is it. Okay. I'm Professor Preacher Moss, and it's come through the courtesy and the blessing of the Muhammad Ali Scholarship, which came through Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Now, listen, I know a lot of you people are thinking, can I do it? Yes, you can do it. This is the part where I'm supposed to say, it's easy. It's not easy. Listen, if it was easy to get this degree, Trump would be a mufti. I digress. Listen, though, for you brothers and sisters that are interested, go to bayanonline.org, and you could be like me. Put yourself in the picture for Islamic education. Wait a minute, there's a picture right there. Sound like them, everybody. Take care. Preach them off.